Welcome to the Talking the Line podcast, presented to you by Talking the Line Sports Media, giving you our best insights and analysis so you can rake in some cold hard cash on your next sports bet. Now sit on back, open up your mind, and let's cash some tickets. We can't thank you enough for joining us. We hope you enjoy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, degenerates and gamblers, far and wide. Welcome in to episode number 77, the lucky number sevens of the TTL podcast. Hey, thank you so much for taking a few moments out of your day to come and kick it with the crew on this beautiful Friday of bets and choosing to start your weekend with the two of us. Now, before we dive deep into episode number 77, talk some lines for you and give you the value that we found across today's MLB slate, please take a few moments to smash that subscribe button on whatever platform you are currently ingesting the TTL pod on. If you are watching on YouTube, you might as well hit that notification bell as well so you never miss the start of a live show. But if you are listening to the audio version on your favorite podcasting directory, make sure you hit the subscribe button there as well, as we do release the audio version after every live show. Second item on the docket, head on over to this episode's description and you will locate the Talking the Line link tree so you can find all of the TTL's crew's content so you can consume it however and whenever you please. Last item here, ladies and gentlemen, if you also have a few brief moments, switching it up on you here today, I usually do this second, confusing a few of you, but who cares? If you have a few seconds, and you could also be so kind, hit that like button, leave us a comment, leave us a rating, all that good stuff, everything in between. We cannot tell you how much we appreciate it when you do, and it only helps us make Talking the Line Sports Media bigger and better for each and every one of you. Ladies and gentlemen, and beautiful gambling people joining us on today's show, I am your humble host, Colton, Colt 45 Soroka, and it is my pleasure to get this Friday started, and thank you guys so much to all of you for stopping by, for hanging out with us throughout this entire week and getting ready to close this bad boy out. Now, as always, I wouldn't be able to do this by myself. I got to have somebody to give me a little bit of a water break here and there, or maybe a chance to suck in some air so I can catch my breath, but I also need somebody else to give me some stone cold locks and some serious value across the daily betting slates. So without further ado, let me bring in the man that I'm talking about that I depend on for all of the aforementioned facts, the man, the myth, the degenerate gambling legend himself, Mr. Riley RMags Magnuson. Partner, how you doing over there today, pal?
My man, I am pretty damn good. It is Friday. I've got a nice little weekend ahead of me. I'm glad that about half of what I'm here for is just to give you a nice little water break. That's nice to know.
Plenty more in between. I find value with you, my friend. Not just to give me a break here and there. Much more. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you sitting to my left every single day here, sir. Woke up feeling dangerous this morning, my friend. Bit of a wheel-spinning week here for the TTL crew. MLB is one of those fickle sports that things tend to correct themselves over time, but more things appear to keep popping up in the MLB that we have to handicap, have to look into. The war on sticky stuff looms large day in and day out. Pitching matchups consistently changing. Guys going on the IL, who knows? But we are improving day by day, and boy, oh boy, do we have a show coming at you today loaded with nothing but locks analysis, special plays, trends, and then we got plenty of hot takes to bring you. But before I tell you everything that is coming to you on episode 77 here, we're always a full transparency show at the TTL Pod. We never hide anything from you. So, quickly, because we don't like to stay in the past too long. We like to keep things moving, keep it grooving, get into the future, keep the good vibes rolling. Let's briefly go into the past, into yesterday's action, our best bets of the day, live on your screen, quickly recapped for you. On the left side, ladies and gentlemen, one of these here days, we're going to stop doing these types of recaps. But on the left-hand side of your screen, RMags went 1-1 yesterday with the Blue Jays being postponed. Myself, I went 0-2 with the Mets being postponed. Tigers, absolutely brutal beat, and the Reds, a brutal beat as well. I will get off of these brutal beat trains sometime here, but not too sure when. Also like the Tigers first 5 plus a half is one of my plays, but liked it so much we tossed it on the parlay. That bad boy hit. And then in the very final bottom of the 9th inning, the under did not cash in Cleveland, Kansas City. Got the win for my partner on his Cleveland Indians money line, but it went to exactly
mixed feelings.
Exactly 10 runs. So very mixed feelings there. It ended on a 3-run walk-off bomb.
They hit a 3-run home run on the bottom of the 8th. We thought we were all cookies. Got a nice little special play and the money line, and then of course the Royals tied it in the 9th, and the rest is history. The rest is history, my friends. So there you go. The all-knowing, ever-powerful Moneyline Dice. 1-1 on the day. Pretty consistent for them here so far. However, they now are officially 32-32-1 on the TTL Pod. So they got another matchup to roll here today. One that's a little close. The public's taking a specific side. Some of the sharps are taking the other side. So we're not going to take either side. We're going to let the dice tell us who we need to select this evening on their roll. But there you go. There's everything from yesterday. Let's get that off the screen, push it in the past, and let's get into Friday, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to cash some doggone tickets. You know how we do it here at the TTL Pod. So coming up for you today on episode number 77, lock in, strap in, get ready. First things first, get those sportsbooks out now. Get ready because the first segment of episode number 77 is always the exact same segment, but going to tell you anyway. The TTL Crew's best bets of the day. Kicking things off with RMAG's 2 best bets of the day, and then we'll roll into my 3 best bets of the day. Bringing back the Chicago Baseball Parlay for the second segment of the day, special play of the day here today. We will be tapping down there. We will be going through that. We have obviously 2 teams in Chicago, Northsiders, Southsiders. We'll be taking one money line and one first 5, but we're not going to tell you. You got to stick for the second segment in order to find out what's going to be going on there. Third segment of the day is going to be the Moneyline Dice roll. You know the drill. The all-knowing, ever-present, ever-popular Moneyline Dice rolling for the matchup between. Not going to tell you. Got to come through for the third segment today so you can find out and you can get the best bets from the Moneyline Dice. That'll do it for the first half of the show, but don't dip out too quick. If you haven't heard, if you haven't been around throughout the entirety of the week that we have already had, Friday, we got a big fight card coming up, UFC 264. If you haven't been here before, we start every Rants and Reactions second half of the show on Fridays, breaking down the entire fight card, giving you my best bets, some of RMAC's best bets, giving you my main card parlay, and then maybe even some props in between this week. So it is going to be a juicy start to the Rants and Reactions here today. If you are a fan of the UFC or are just interested in this card at all, I suggest you stick around because I got some serious stuff to drop on you. Rest of the Rants and Reactions, we got some MLB news to get into, a little bit of NBA as well. We'll talk about Game 2 between the Bucks and Suns last night. We'll get into all of that, bring you all of our hot takes and more banter than you might be able to handle on this beautiful Friday in today's Rants and Reactions. And then I will close out the show with my motivation minutes as always, bringing you a little message on the fear of failure or the fear of trying. So stick around. I'll let you spin on that for a little while, but make sure you stop by the very end of the show or just stick around till the very end of the show. Get you a little bit extra inspiration to get you through this Friday and on in through the weekend as well. but for now. Stop all the nonsense, cut all the banner, quit all the drama that you could go to every other sports media outlet and get. You come to the TTL podcast for the stone cold locks and running tickets to the window with the TTL crew all day and night long. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to stop talking about it and start being about it. You know the drill. Episode number 77 is officially live on this beautiful July 9th, 2021, Friday of Bets. TTL crew coming at you with the first segment of the day. First half of the first segment of the day. RMACS, best bets of the day. If you come around quite often, you know this is how we kick things off. You know what my partner lays down. But if this is your first time coming around, get out those sports books. Open your ear holes nice and wide because there is some serious value about to come through whatever device you are currently ingesting this podcast on. We have a card coming at you, and when my partner goes 2 bets or less, you best believe you're going to get those bad boys hammered in on your sports book, whatever you like to use, because they are locks. So without further ado, not to put any pressure on you there, partner, but as always, my friend, my pal, my degenerate partner himself, you have the floor.
Okay, I appreciate it. Gonna come out of 2 AL West action here. Actually, yeah, both games completely AL West games. We've got A's versus Rangers on the first one, and I am going, both of us might have a little play on this one, but I am going for the total in this one, under 9 runs. We've got Cole Irvin on the mound versus Jordan Lyles. Cole Irvin, the lefty. Lyles, the right-hander. And partner's going to probably lay down some knowledge on Jordan Lyles here in a minute, but I'll give just a couple points here. Lyles' top of the line numbers are not great, but he has been improving. His last 2 home appearances, I should say, one of them was not a start, combined for 13 innings pitched, 3 earned runs allowed, and one of those includes a game against Oakland. So at home, he has been heating up, been pitching pretty damn well, getting the control figured out, keeping these runs off the board. The A's last 10 versus righties, pretty damn cold actually. 208 batting average, 278 OBP, 2.97 runs per 9. They've been a little bit unpredictable, and that unpredictability kind of comes from who they have on the mound. Honestly, their offense has been a little sputtery lately. And Cole Irvin on the other side of the mound, kind of know what you're going to get from him. He's got a 3.56 ERA on the season, 2.55 ERA on the road. Hasn't been too bad. He kind of wheel spinning for him a little bit. Oftentimes gives up a couple of earned runs, and this Oakland team does put up some runs for him, so you do see some wins there. But he typically, for whatever reason, faces some mediocre to really bad pitchers. And like I mentioned, I think Jordan Lyles is on the up escalator, trending upwards. This Rangers team, however, as my partner's probably going to mention, they have handled this A's team pretty damn well this season. And overall, their offense, a little shaky.
They're a problem.
But 3 or less in 3 of their last 4 games. That one outlier was against Jose Urena. So when you get a decent pitcher on the mound against them, I think this is going to be a low-scoring game, as is the last 3 of their 4 games there. 3 or less, as I said, in their last 3 of their last 4 games. I think it's going to be pretty similar. As my partner is going to mention, I don't want to give away too much of what he's got. I do like his play that is coming out of this one. But overall, I think this is going to be a real low-scoring game. You're not going to see too many runs coming out of this A's lineup. And I think this Rangers team, does just enough. However, this game stays way under that 9 runs. This Oakland team just ain't doing it at the plate right now. So I'm going under 9 runs in this one.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. RMAC's first best bet of the day. Just as the Oakland Athletics bats are a bit of a problem in one sense of the word, in a very different sense of the word, the Texas Rangers have been a problem for the Oakland Athletics this season. So, still not going to tell you what I'm hammering in just quite yet, because I don't think you might know it. However, once again, RMAC's first best bet of the day. Oakland Athletics versus Texas Rangers, under 9 runs. Last time I checked, getting right around plus 100 odds on those bad boys. So might have knocked down to minus, or 8.5 rather. With all that being said, partner, there's one. Let him have number 2.
number 2. So I was kicking this one around, different types of plays on this one. Wasn't sure what I wanted to take, but I knew I liked the Mariners in some capacity. But I'm going in the Angels versus Mariners game. I'm going to the Mariners team total over 4 runs. We've got Alex Cobb on the mound for the Angels versus Marco Gonzalez. Obviously, if we're going Mariners team total, Marco Gonzalez does not matter, but I figure I mentioned him because I did lean towards the Mariners money line. However, I just don't have enough trust in Marco Gonzalez. He has been way too unpredictable. Nothing special at home, but Alex Cobb, I do like to give up a handful of runs today. He's got a 4.6 ERA on the season, but a 7.77 ERA on the road over 6 starts. Last 2 road starts versus Tampa Bay and Arizona. I'll say that again, versus Tampa Bay and Arizona. 7 innings pitched combined, 13 hits, and 11 earned runs. That's not all weighted on Tampa Bay because you might think that with Arizona being in there. That's a nice 5 and 6 in each of those games allowed.
Wow.
Has been very good at home, actually. 4 of last 5 at home, 1 earned runs or less. So if you're catching him in Anaheim, got a decent chance. However, that one outlier where he gave up more than 1 earned runs was actually to this Seattle team. Gave up 5 earned runs to the Mariners back in early June. So I like this Mariners team coming back into Seattle to handle this guy very, very well. Don't even need to rely on the bullpen, in my opinion, because I think Alex Cobb is going to be a revolving door on the road once again, like he has been all season. This Mariners team at home, 27-19 home record. They are very comfortable at home. The last month or so, that road home record has skyrocketed, as is their overall record over 500. So like I said, I lean towards the M's money line in this game, but I just don't have the trust in Marco Gonzalez to hammer that in, even at plus money. And I don't necessarily like the first 5 plus a half, because those odds might be decent. So I have, all of my confidence in that Mariners team total. As I mentioned, I could also do the same for the Angels or the over in this game. However, Marco Gonzalez is just a little more unpredictable. You don't know if he's going to have, 3 earned runs or less or 6 or more. So I think the safe play in this one is going to be the Mariners team total over 4, partner. What do you think?
Well, what I think, it sounds like you had about 15 different plays there, and you chose to take the most valuable of them all.
That would be correct.
I think you are spot on there with the Mariners. They sputtered a little bit there against the Yankees in game 1 and 2. If you bet along with me, I apologize. I took them on the side yesterday, and great, they got the win when I didn't take them on the podcast. However, I think they're coming back. I think they're starting to stay consistent. They're still not under 500 yet. They're still a very sneaky good team, and I think they put up at least 5 runs here today, if not more. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. One more time, RMAG's second best bet of the day. Seattle Mariners team total over 4 runs, or whatever you're finding that on your sports book. Hope you hammered those bad boys in. RMAG's got some serious value coming at you right there. Serious plays. You should have them in your bet slip already. But if you don't, you missed them, you're coming in late, don't worry. We'll be sure to recap all of his best bets of the day on the Best Bets of the Day recap segment. Wouldn't you know it? However, let's keep this first segment of the day steaming on down the tracks. The money train is on it, ladies and gentlemen, so it is time to keep it going. Second half of the first segment of the day, you know where we're going. My best bets of the day. Now, I told you at the top, we got 5 best bets, 2 from RMACS, 3 from me. So without further ado, it is time to get into those 3 best bets of the day. I actually have 1 from my card yesterday that may or may not have got postponed. So if you were here for the recap, you might know where I'm going. And if you listened to me yesterday, you might hear a lot of the same things. But I liked them so much, I'm hammering them in again. However, that's not my first best bet. First best bet of the day. I am going to the matchup between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Boston Red Sox. Now, I'm taking the Philadelphia Phillies first 5 run line plus a half. This one honestly comes down to the pitching matchup for me, and I think it looms very, very, very large here. You got Vince Velasquez on the mound for the Phillies and Garrett Richards on the mound for the Red Sox. Now, Velasquez is coming off of a very, very disappointing outing against the San Diego Padres. He went 6 innings and allowed 5 earned runs back on the 4th. So not even a week ago. All that being said, I think this is going to be the exact spot he's going to be ready for a bounce back, especially going on the road. He's been rather solid on the road. Hasn't been anything that you really need to write home about, but he's been able to keep the Phillies in these games on the road. Started off the season as more of a bullpen day guy, start off going inning and a third, inning and 2/3. Now they're starting to have a lot more faith in Velasquez to be one of their rotation starters. He has pitched well against Boston in his career, however. 36 at-bats against them, 107 batting average, 223 on base percentage, and a 389 OPS. So some of these big bats in that Boston lineup, he has had some serious success and been able to limit them across the board. He also owns a 0.00 ERA against Boston in an inning and a third pitch so far this year. I wanted to mention that because that was back when he was that bullpen guy, that starting day guy for the bullpen. However, I like him to build on that performance and continue to be consistent. Do I think he gives up 0 earned runs? We'll see. However, for any that he gives up, I absolutely love Garrett Richards to give up twice as much. One final thought on Velasquez. The Phillies are 3-2 straight up in the first 5 innings in his last 5 starts overall. Now, for the aforementioned Garrett Richards, he has been a mess post the MLB sticky stuff. He actually had a press conference where he basically said, hey, I'm just trying new things out here. I don't really know what I'm doing. I am not putting my faith or my money on a pitcher who is doing that and struggling that at this time, and I will gladly fade him because of all those issues right now. If you don't like all of that, he has had plenty of struggles against this Philadelphia offense in his career because if you do remember, he used to pitch for the San Diego Padres. Overall, they have taken care of him. Not anything crazy, but definitely better numbers than or worse numbers rather than what you're seeing Velasquez handle against Boston. Now, the home field, Fenway Park, where Boston pitchers tend to be better, is where he's actually been worse. Richards has 6 starts overall at home this season. He's got a 1-3 record with a 349 opponent batting average allowed. He's only got 18 Ks with 17 walks, so commands has been a huge issue in Fenway for him. He has a 6.75 ERA, only over 29 and a third innings of work, so it has been a struggle bus central for him at Fenway. You don't like all of that. Richards has given up 3 earned runs or more in 5 out of his last 7 starts, and you know me, it's more on the or more side of things. And last but not least, Boston is 1-2 straight up in the first 5 innings over his last 5 starts overall. Final closing thoughts, some trends that I really like here. First 5 runs per game allowed for Boston. They are 27th in the MLB at home with a 2.89 average, whereas the Phillies are 13th in the MLB on the road with a 2.69 average. Couple other thoughts here. Philly 2-2-1 straight up in the first 5 innings over their last 5 games, and Boston 2-2-1 straight up in the first 5 innings over their last 5 games. However, the wins are coming more recently for the Phillies, and the wins for the Red Sox are coming further on in the past. Plus, you couple that with the pitching matchup here today. I think that Philly has the outright lead, but I'm going to play it safe and give them the half-run backing. So for my first best bet of the day, I am running that ticket to the window. Phillies, first 5 run line, plus a half.
I'll be right there with you on this one, my man. I might do a little side sprinkle on the Phillies team total just because if you haven't seen the press conference my partner was talking about, go ahead and watch it. It's not an understatement what my partner said. It looked like the guy's a shell of himself right now on the field and off the field. It's bad, and like you said, I have absolutely no inkling to put my trust into a guy that's like that. No chance at all. Absolutely.
So there you go. First best bet of the day. Let's keep it going, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Second best bet of the day coming from me. Going to be the similar play that I took yesterday. I am going back to the Pirates and Mets matchup, and I am once again taking the New York Mets minus 1.5. The Mets, once again, coming off that disappointing 5-0 finish to the series against the Brewers over the start to the week here, and I think they are ready to get it rocking and rolling again. If you heard a lot of my analysis yesterday, it comes down to this pitching matchup for me. JT Brubaker on the mound for the Pirates, and you have Taijuan Walker on the mound for the Mets. I have ultimate faith in Walker, no faith at all in Brubaker. Brubaker has given up a combined 15 earned runs in his last 5 starts overall. overall. He had a 4.03 ERA in the month of June and has carried it right on into July with a 7.50 ERA. He's had 8 road starts so far this season. The Pirates are going to be playing at the Mets Park today. He has a 1-4 record on the road with a 253 opponent batting average allowed. 14 walks on the road this season compared to only 4 at home. Obviously, command struggles a big issue for him away from home. He has a 4.70 ERA, all over 44 innings of work. He hasn't faced the Mets this year or much at all in his career, and I like them to make plenty success against him here today. Last but not least, Pittsburgh 0-5 straight up in the last 5 starts overall for Brubaker, with 3 of those losses coming by 2 runs or more. Now, as for Taijuan Walker, Walker has really, I said this yesterday, rounded out that Mets rotation very nicely, and I think he continues his dominance here today. Me and RMags have enjoyed backing him and putting our money on him this year because he has been very consistent when he takes the bump. He has won 4 out of the last 5 starts overall for the Mets. 2 of them were by 2 runs or more, and the other 2 were pitchers duels against Nola and Mills. I also said that yesterday, so it was a little bit of back and forth battles. I don't see that happening here today with Brubaker on the mound. 7 home starts for Walker. Told you that yesterday. 4-0 record, 171 opponent batting average allowed, 45 Ks with only 13 walks, 1 home run allowed, and a 1.52 ERA over 41 1/3 innings pitched. Last but not least, the closing trends for you. Mets 6-0 straight up last 6 starts as a favorite. Pittsburgh is 17-25 ATS as an away team as an away dog. Pittsburgh is also 36-44 ATS as an underdog overall this season. The Mets are 29-27 ATS on, actually this is not going to count. Forget I even said that because they are now on 1 day's rest. So this is not coming off of no rest. Carried that over from yesterday. However, Pittsburgh is 1-6 straight up in the last 7 meetings overall, and Pittsburgh is 1-4 straight up in the last 5 meetings in New York, with 2 out of those last 3 coming by 2 runs or more. They were losses. So, once again, I'm all over it. I don't feel crazy. I'm back on the bandwagon. Give me, for my second best bet of the day, the New York Mets, -1.5.
Yeah, I don't think you're crazy at all, my man. Taijuan Walker has been the man, and the Pirates on the road against a guy like that, I'm not going to take that action with the Pirates, so I'm happy to back you on this one. This is my favorite of your 3, actually.
All right, well, there you have it. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. So second of the day. Let's move into the third and final best bet of the day coming from me. Now, my partner about gave it away what I'm taking, but not really at all. Not really at all. He did tell you the matchup, though. Oakland Athletics versus the Texas Rangers. And contrary to popular belief, I am taking the Texas Rangers first 5 run line +0.5. Now, you might think that the safe play would be the Oakland Athletics first 5 money line, but I'm not thinking so sure here today, and it honestly comes down to the pitching matchup for me, and as I just said a little bit earlier, the Rangers have been a problem for the Athletics all season long. Cole Irvin, obviously taking the bump for the A's, and then you got Jordan Lyles. Partner already told you all of that action, but let me give you a little bit more here on Irvin. He has been solid all season long, has been solid on the road, but Texas has been a bit of a problem for him. He's got a 5.40 ERA in 5 innings pitched against them this year. 21 at-bats, 242 batting average, 346 OBP, and a 613 OPS. So they have handled him just fine. And not to mention, Texas is crushing the ball right now against left-handed pitching. Last 5 overall against lefties, 357 at the plate, 438 OBP, and scoring 14.29 runs per 9. That is not a recent trend. It has been going on for a while. Last 10 overall versus lefties, 323 batting average, 391 on base percentage, and scoring 9.22 runs per 9. So Texas has been handling the bats just fine, but particularly against left-handed pitching here as of late. Then Jordan Lyles. Partner gave you some pretty solid stuff about him. He is not as bad as his surface numbers look, especially in some of his recent starts. He's given up 2 earned runs or less in 4 out of his last 5 starts overall, and given up 1 earned run or less in 3 out of his last 5 home starts. He has faced Oakland this year. He has a 3.00 ERA in 6 innings pitched, but not exactly how you would think he got that ERA. He came in the 3rd inning after two pitchers had already given up 7 earned runs in those innings of work. So it was not his scheduled day to pitch. He was not supposed to come in. He came in under pressure, under duress, not much of a warm-up, gave up 2 earned runs, and then pitched all the way to the 9th, not giving up another run more. 2 earned runs from Jordan Lyles against them. I love him to continue to build against that performance, and he has faced Oakland quite a lot in his career so far, and I think he builds upon these numbers as they are pretty doggone good. 65 at-bats, 108 batting average allowed, 195 on base percentage, and a 359 OPS. So the A's have really struggled at the plate against Lyles, if you ask me. And Texas is 2-1-1 straight up in the first 5 innings over his last 4 starts overall. I would say last 5. However, that 5th one there is that outlier where he came in the 3rd that I just told you about. Some key trends that I also like here. Oakland is 1-2-2 straight up in the first 5 innings in their last 5 games overall, with Texas being 2-2-1 straight up in the first 5 innings over their last 5 overall. Once again, taking this play because I think Texas has the outright lead. I had it in my bet slip for about 10 minutes just to see what the line would do. It moved from minus 115 to minus 128 in that amount of time that I had it in my slip, so I promptly hammered it in. Yes, I do think if you want to get a little risky, you can go ahead and play the first 5 money line, but I'm going to go the little safer route, and you're still getting just fine odds on it. So for my 3rd and final best bet of the day, Texas Rangers, first 5 run line, plus a half.
I'll be right there with you, my man. Despite what I've got, I still like this play with you as well. We're both very high on Jordan Lyles today, no doubt about it. I'm a little bit higher on Cole Irvin than you are, just a little bit, because that Rangers offense has been good against lefties, no question. I do like Cole Irvin. Not to say that he's going to be, outstanding. I think we've got the right combination here. That's going to be a nice low scoring. To some degree, first few innings.
And if I do so remember, we had a similar kind of pick deal with this in one matchup earlier this week, and we cashed both tickets out of one game.
Which one was that?
That was the Tigers game.
Yes.
So
yes, we did.
I think we can.
On that one, yep.
I think we continue that. Didn't cast the Tigers yesterday. Cast them earlier on in the week. So I think that's where we're headed today. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That does it for the first segment of the day. The TTL Cruise Best Bets of the Day, July 9th, 2021. Let's keep this show moving and a grooving here. What do you say? What do you know about the second segment of episode number 77? The special play of the day.
What do we got today?
We got, coming to you guys live, on tap, ready to be delivered, the Chicago Baseball Parlay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, as always, partner, I've been a little windy here over the course of the last 15 minutes or so. Would so appreciate it if you could kick things off here on the Chicago Baseball Parlay. I don't care where you go. I won't call you a homer either way, but I got one thing left to say. Give it to 'em.
Okay, I will. As my utility is, as your water break man over here, I will go ahead and lay down the chronologically the second leg of the Chicago Baseball Parlay here. The White Sox are going to be the evening action here. The Cubs are coming in on the afternoon, so I will lay down the White Sox first 5
Thanks,
money
asshole.
line. I'm just repeating what you said, my man.
I got water coming out of my fucking nose over here.
Second leg of the. Can I talk over here, please?
I apologize. Continue. You're much more than a water boy.
White Sox first 5 money line coming around 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, I believe. We got Dallas Keuchel on the mound versus Jorge Lopez for the O's. Now, Jorge Lopez coming in with a 6.02 ERA, 4 earned runs or more in 4 of his last 5 starts. He's been a rough start for the Orioles, but they don't have too many other options there. The Orioles have lost all 5 of his last 5 starts, and this White Sox lineup combines lifetime 17 and 43 for a 390 average, 463 OBP, and a whopping 1.085 OPS. So needless to say, they handle this guy pretty damn well. And actually, my White Sox are heating up against righties, partner. Typically on the season, we see them bashing the hell out of left-handers, but last 10 versus righties, 311 batting average, .388 OBP, and 7.68 runs per nine. So they have handled right-handers pretty damn well lately. Orioles do handle lefties pretty well themselves. However, it's been a little shaky lately, and I like Dallas Keuchel in a bounce-back spot. Had a rough start last time out, but all season long, every time he has given up more than 4 earned runs, he he does have a bounce-back of 3 or less. So I see that happening today with the struggling Orioles, despite them being in Baltimore. My White Sox are kind of heating up, turning back upwards a little bit, as I mentioned, especially against right-handers. So I love him to handle the first 5 today, and obviously as a homer, I'm going to say I love him for the full game, but we ain't taking the full game. We just need the first 5.
There you go. There you have it. First leg of the Chicago Baseball Parlay. Well, that takes care of the Southsiders, so obviously got to go to the Ivy Dwellers, the Northsiders, my boys. We are, however, taking the full game money line in this one. So second leg of the Chicago Baseball Parlay, Cubs full game money line. Now, a couple key reasons here. You might see the pitching matchup and you go, well, who haven't I seen this Wade LeBlanc somewhere else? Like, wasn't he playing? Matter of fact, he was. He actually started off this season pitching for Baltimore, bullpen guy for the Baltimore Orioles. And then the Cardinals needed a little bit of additional help. One of those bullpen day guys that can get the show started. Picked him up, and he made his first official outing back on the 17th. And since then, he has made 6 appearances, and the Cardinals have lost 5 of them. So I like that trend to continue first and foremost. Also, Kyle Hendricks on the mound for the Cubbies. He's been solid. He's been dominant. He's been able to do it with off speed. One thing that today's MLB is just something that pitchers do not rely on. They rely on that 97 to 100 mile an hour fastball if they got it, and Hendricks relies on the sinker and the changeup, and I absolutely love it. And he has just continued to be more and more dominant as the season rolls along here. He's become more and more confident, and I think the professor has more than enough success against the Cardinals here today. But one final thought, too. This Cubbies lineup has been a little bit rough. KB and Javi are still questionable for this game, but I think after the night off of rest there, they knew how important this game is in the Central. We cannot afford to lose any games, so the Cardinals right now cannot afford to lose this game at all. And because of all of that, I think that they get this win tonight, but also because of how well they're hitting lefties. They haven't been hitting righties so well at all, and that's where their struggles and this losing streak has come from. Against lefties, they've had plenty of success. In their last 5 games overall, they're hitting .359 at the plate, .414 on base percentage, and scoring 6 runs per game. So I think they do just fine compared to St. Louis, .280 batting average against righties, .341 OBP, and scoring 4.85 runs per 9. This might be a very close one because both teams are on very similar paths in the NL Central. But I think the Cubbies have a lot more to lose here today, and I think they'll be playing with a little bit more desire, not to mention having the very obvious edge in the pitching matchup here today. So, once again, second leg of the Chicago Baseball Parlay, Chicago Cubs money line.
I love it, man. I've been backing Kyle Hendricks in many different spots this year, and it's worked out for me. And I think this is a massive series for this NL Central, both of these NL Central teams. If I think we're going to be looking back in a few weeks, good or bad, whoever wins this series might be the turning point, or negative turning point for the loser. To kind of creep back into the National League pitcher, National League Central pitcher.
It always seems to end up that way between the Cubs and Cardinals, right about this time of the season.
Whether they're both at the top, or they're the second and third team, and it's the one that's kind of separate and get into that second spot, no doubt.
So a lot will be to be determined from this matchup and this series, but we think the Cubbies at least take game 1 at the very least here tonight. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You now have the 2 legs on the Chicago Baseball Parlay. Lock them in. Put them down, sprinkle whatever cash you want on there, getting some decent odds for a nice little safe 2-leggers. So, without further ado, instead of just talking about them again, we might as well just drop them on the screen in case you missed any of them. Told you this was coming here shortly, but it now is officially time to recap all of today's best bets of the day and the special play of the day. So get out those sports books, get ready to hammer them home, because now, ladies and gentlemen, the TTL Crew's best bets of the day and the Chicago Baseball special play are now live on your screen.
There we go.
Coming to you live from the federal landmark, the beautiful friendly confines of Wrigley Field. You have RMACS best bets on the left side of your screen. 2 plays coming at you. He is taking the Oakland Athletics versus Texas Rangers under 9 runs, or if it is ticked down under 8.5 or under 9.5, either way. He's also taking the Seattle Mariners team total over 4 runs. On the right side of your screen, my best bets of the day. 3 of those bad boys coming at you. I am taking the Philadelphia Phillies first 5 run line plus a half. The New York Mets minus 1.5 for the full game. And the Texas Rangers first 5 run line plus a half. Below all of that action in the bottom right corner over there is the Chicago Baseball Parlay that we just got through, but now it's live on your screen. The Chicago White Sox first 5 money line and the Chicago Cubs money line. Parlay those bad boys up right around plus 200 odds, just a little underneath that, but perfect to put a unit on and get a little double up headed right here into the weekend.
I love it.
So there you have it.
I used to live a few months ago right by where the S in my name is. That's where I used to live.
Oh, well, what do you know about that?
And now that I'm looking at it, I spelled, or incorrect punctuation on my name.
Oh, look at you, guy. Come on. What are we doing? Either way.
I'm going with the rebrand RMAG.
Either way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 best bets of the day and the special play Chicago Baseball Parlay. You know the deal. Hammer them in, lock them home, sprinkle a little bit of cheddar cheese down. Whatever you need to say, just make sure you get today's TTL Crew's best bets of the day and special play in at whatever the current line is on your favorite sportsbook. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you are watching live, you see some additional text on the screen. You know I always kick it off this way, but if you're listening, gotta tell you, it's the Moneyline Dice. You now officially are about to know what matchup they're rolling for. We are going to the heated matchup, it appears to be, between the New York Yankees and the Houston Astros. The public is loving the underdog Yankees here today, and some of the sharps are on the favorite Astros at home in Minute Maid Park. Not too sure what way we needed to sway here. So we said, hey, we know somebody who definitely knows how to. So without further ado, it's time to bring those kind, generous, powerful cubicle objects onto this edition, episode, show of the TTL Pod with today's third segment of the day. The Moneyline Dice roll of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. All right, well, you kind of might know who is the favorite, who's the dog, where we're playing at by some of my introduction there. However, partner, there might be some outstanding storylines we need to know about. We might have to have a little bit of information about these pitchers on the mound here today, and maybe a little bit in between. So if you could be so kind to indulge all of us in that information while I get a little bit of additional viewing pleasure set up here for our kind viewers out there.
Alrighty, I'll go ahead and do just that. So, my partner mentioned some money movement. It might have changed since he saw them because the public bet slip percentage does appear to be coming in on the Astros. Nonetheless, we've got Yankees-Astros in Minute Maid Park, Houston, and you've got Nestor Cortez, lefty for the Yanks, versus Jake Odorizzi for the Astros. Cortez now not too familiar with this guy. He has not gone deeper than 4 innings in any game this season. Let's see if this is his. This actually, I believe, is going to be his second start on the season. He has made 8 appearances, but he's actually got a very nice 1.29 ERA. So he has been pretty damn solid. Many of his starts have come at home. Actually, only 1 appearance here on the road this season, so that could loom large in this one. Despite only 1 earned run in that appearance, 3 2/3 on the road in Philadelphia. So we'll see if that trend, if we can see any trends there, if that continues. We've got Jake Odorizzi on the other side for the Astros. 3.7 ERA, nothing crazy, nothing special. He has actually been pretty damn solid as of late, though. Over his last 4 starts, 1 earned runs or less. In 3 of those, he actually shut out the opponent. A lot of those starts came on the road, though, so we will see if his home numbers can improve, because on 5 appearances this year at home in Minute Maid Park, 5.06 ERA. So a little bit of an interesting pitching matchup in this one, and that's why we didn't want to make any plays out of this one, because we just don't know what to expect from them. But bet slip percentages, first of all, Astros money line minus 132, Yankees at plus 118. Over under on let's see, FanDuel is at 9.5 on DraftKings. It is actually at 9 right now, so you might see a little bit of differing action on that one. The run lines, -1.5 for the Astros is at +136, while the Yankees at +1.5 is -164. Now, I mentioned the bet slip percentage, 83% of the bets coming in on the Astros, while the whopping money percentage are 53% on the Yankees. So big money backing Nestor Cortez and the Yankees in this one, fading Jake Odorizzi. Never know what to expect because the Yankees have a massive fan base and their big fans like to pour money into their money line. So still never know with that one. Now, the over-under bet slip percentage is 54% of the bets on the over, 70% of the money coming in on the under. My partner's got a little graphic on the screen there, so I imagine that he is just about done, but I'm ready to rock on this one. These teams have been playing pretty well lately, so we will see what happens in this one in Minute Maid Park.
Yeah, actually interesting what you said there at the beginning. Here this morning, the Yankees were getting all of the sharp and big money. They still are.
So still getting the sharp money, but as far as the public bet percentages, it's 83 on the Astros.
I see. So yes, kind of still it is shifted to public perception rather, and kind of still the exact same where the money was at. Right. So, all right, there we go. There we have it. You know all the storylines between the Yankees and the Astros here today. You see the vibes. You know what's going on up here. We are taking all of these sports
falling over. I don't like that.
Today. You're falling over because.
Too much money?
Everybody, okay. Well, number one, everybody that knows you who does indulge in this podcast knows that is hilariously on brand for you. And number two, piles of money, my
piles
friend.
Of money.
Piles and piles and piles of money.
Me being clumsy, dragging money out, that is fairly on brand, I suppose.
There you go, my friend. Hilariously on brand. So for today's... For the first time, actually, today, got me sidetracked there. We are now getting into the Moneyline Dice roll. Let's close this bad boy out just real quick. Still getting my perfect producer, what do you call it here? I don't know. Still getting my
wheelhouse?
Yeah, getting everything right here. So making sure everything's going good, looking well. All right, check. So we're just gonna have to do this real quick. A little bit of this section. We'll do this section. All right, just pretend you guys didn't see any of that, and then we'll be all good, just so you know. So actually we'll put that away just for a moment. All right, here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, partner, let me get our kind guests live and in prime time, ready to roll. Here we go for the first time live on your screen on this beautiful Friday of bets. We have the Moneyline Dice. All right, here we go. You know the matchup, you know the deal, you know the drills, you know what we do here, so let's get right on into it. First roll of the day. Are we going to be siding with the home team, Houston Astros, or the away team, New York Yankees? We all, as always, find out in 3, in 2, in 1.
Away team Yanks.
Away team Yankees it is.
Dice might be buying into this sharp and big money.
So, will we be getting some plus money, Pauly money line odds? Or are we getting just a little bit of juice on the +1.5? Let's see what the deal is in 3, in 2, in 1.
Money line.
New York Yankees money line for the first unofficial pick from the Moneyline Dice today. So, all that remains is the wild card roll. Are the dice doubling down for what seems to be, or probably might be, the 4th Friday in a row and hitting that bet? Or will they have us re-roll, need a little extra screen time? Or are they just skipping all that nonsense and going right to the total? Partner, you, I, and all of you find out in 3, in 2, in 1.
Home ATS, that's a re-roll.
Balls.
Damn.
That's rough.
All right, Dice.
We did have a little bit of interference, but that's okay. Here we go.
Come on, Dice.
No delay, no hesitation. First roll, home away.
That is home.
Okay.
All right, that is home. Okay. What are we doing here today, Dice?
Oh, boy, Dice. I was really confident in your first pick there, boys. Here we go.
Money line.
Home money line. And wild card roll.
Come on, Dice. The under.
The under.
Under 9.5. What should we declare here? Under 9.
Under 9.
Under 9.
All right. So either way, ladies and gentlemen, however you feel about it, the dice have spoken. If you want a guaranteed take 2 tickets to the window tonight, not from us, but the all-knowing, ever-powerful Moneyline Dice, lock in right now. Houston Astros money line and under 9 runs in the Yankees versus Astros game tonight. Thank you, Dice.
Thank you, Dice.
Thank you, Dice. We appreciate it. We appreciate your presence, and we appreciate your picks.
Guess the Dice are saying screw you to the sharp money on the money line. There is sharp money and big money coming on the under, so they are buying into the under.
We'll see what happens. Either way, let me toss that over there for a quick view for you guys. All of this here is what you get when you order a set of Moneyline Dice, but this isn't all the Moneyline Dice family has. They have loads of other sweet merchandise that you can get your hands on, and we make it incredibly easy for you guys to do so. All you got to do, head on over to this episode's description. Second link you're going to see at the bottom is the MoneylineDice.com website, where you can locate all of their Fire Flame merchandise. Go on there. Nothing is off limits. Pick out what you want. If you just want to roll along with the crew, or if you want anything else, get it in your cart. Head on over to that cart, and when you go to check out, you can enter a code, because we got your back. Code TTL10 at checkout. Going to get you 10% off your first order on MoneylineDice.com. However, if you forget all of that, we just put it all right down there in the description. The code, the website, everything is right there. You don't have to go scrolling the interweb, and you don't have to rewind anymore. Just head on over to this episode's description, grab yourself a set of Moneyline Dice, start rolling with the crew, and we'll meet you at the pay window right along our kind friends, the Moneyline Dice.
Now, we don't use this one, but I just fucking love this one. Max.
Yeah.
Max with the money signs.
It is pretty doggone sweet. It is pretty doggone sweet. But yeah, it does come with the 5 in the set. All your different options there as well. We just picked the most relevant options to us, what we do here. But you can mix, match, do whatever you so well damn please. If you don't even know how much money to put on the play, the dice can decide that for you as well. So get your own set of MoneylineDice.com today. Start MoneylineDice.com today. What am I saying? Get your own set of Moneyline Dice today. Visit MoneylineDice.com down in this episode's description.
Thank you, Dice.
Thank you, Dice. We appreciate it. We appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen, and the Dice would too. There we have it. There you go. All right. Now, producer Colt must make an appearance once again here. Have to get our honorable guest back in their traveling case. See you later, alligators. Catch you on Monday's show. Get rid of this nonsense. All of this nonsense. All right, let me get rid of this, ladies and gentlemen. Bear with me just a few moments. You know, I really dislike when people say that, bear with me. Bear with me, please, bear with me. It just generally means it's going to be a long time before anything happens. But not going to be a long time, because everything's already complete here, ladies and gentlemen. And that does it for today's Moneyline Dice roll of the day. As a matter of fact, that does it for the first half of episode number 77 of the TTL pod. If you are one of the kind, degenerate folks, gambling pals we have, or one of the few people many people in between, that just stop by every episode of the TTL pod for our best bets, the special play, the analysis, the trends, our wonderful guests, the Moneyline Dice, to dish out their rolling picks. If you're one of those people and you're about to head on out of here, first things first, we appreciate you more than you know for stopping by today's show and every show that you decide to stop by and hammering in picks, bets, everything in between with the TTL crew. If you really are headed out of here, hope you have a spectacular rest of your Friday and a terrific start to your weekend. We will see you at the pay window this evening, but make sure you hit that notification button and you get ready for Monday's show because we're going to have another loaded one coming at you. And you know we need your help bankrupting these sports books one play at a time. So without further ado, have a great rest of your day. But to those of you sticking around for the second half of today's show, it's about to get wild. We're about to go to a place that we very rarely get to go to, but especially dive deep on Fridays.
Oh, yeah.
We're about to get hot and heavy. If your kids are near or in the room, I suggest you get them out. Because, also maybe too, if you are no longer working remote and you got this bad boy up and live in prime time, you might want to go to the break room. Because it's about to get sweaty. Second half of today's show. Today's Rants and Reactions. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Hopefully that got you on your toes, ready to rock and roll here for the second half of the show. It's time to drop it into first gear, kick it on back just a little bit, and talk some shit. Now, without further ado, I got to. You know how we kick it off on Fridays here. It's time. We are live from the TTL Production Studios in Chicago for UFC 264, McGregor vs. Poirier 3, card breakdown, main card parlay, and maybe some props in between. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, the man sitting to my left, standing at 6 feet tall and weighing just what he should. This man is a freestyle fighter and will hit you with the elbows, with the knees, with the toes, and anything else he must have to get the victory in the 8-sided circle. The man, the myth, Riley RMags Magnuson. Partner, how you doing over there, man?
I'm just good. I'm just fine.
We are live, ladies and gentlemen. We've been talking about it all week, all day long already. UFC 264 is upon us. One more sleep. The weigh-ins currently actually just got over, I do believe, or just about to start. Final, yes, actually being in Vegas, just about to start the countdown clock for the fighters. We are here, ladies and gentlemen. We have made it to the weekend.
2 more sleeps if you plan on taking a Saturday afternoon nap.
Hey, like my partner here, he does like to indulge in a few of those from time to time. Well, actually, we got quite the action going on. We decided to go on a little company lunch yesterday.
Yes, we did.
I said, hey, so go get some lunch, kick it back, relax, and we'll game plan for the weekend here. Well, we decided to go to Honey Baked Ham.
Oh, baby.
Great lunch we had. Well, the mistake with that is we went way too doggone hungry, and we could grab a few things here for the weekend. Why not? Well, $92 later, we left with a slab of ribs, 2 pails of ham, Swiss cheese, and pickle sliders.
Yep.
A side of double mac and cheese.
My stomach's growling, man.
And a large carrot cake.
Oh my gosh.
We are locked and loaded, ladies and gentlemen, from this side of the table for UFC 264. So we want to get you guys locked and loaded too, with some best bets, all of the good stuff, breaking down all of the fights, everything in between. Sorry if I made you hungry there. I do apologize as well, partner, because now I'm thinking about it as well. It is going to be a smorgasbord at
hopefully,
the TTL
we
Production
can get some
Studios
help
tomorrow.
on those things.
Yeah, hopefully, or else me and partner here are going to need a couple of hand trucks to get us the fuck out of the TTL Production Studios, because we'll probably weigh an additional 100 pounds than we do right now. With all that being said, you never know what you're going to get here at the TTL Pod, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why you're surprised, but without further ado, partner, if you could be so kind, what time does the card? I want to toss out a quick tweet here. What time does the card start? What's everything got rocking and rolling? Anything?
Great question.
Has any injury updates? Anything came out here this morning? I don't think so.
I haven't seen any injury updates by no means. I believe the main card appears to be starting at 9 p.m. Early prelims,
As
looking
usual.
at 5 p.m. All times are in Central Standard Time.
For sure.
And then so we got early prelims. Looks like we got 3, and then oh no, sorry, I gotta drop down. That would make sense. 4 prelims, and then the 5-card main card starting at 9, 7 for the 4-card preliminary card, and 4 for the early prelims. So yeah, no injury news that I'm aware of. T-Mobile Arena over there in Las Vegas. I am so damn juiced for this. There's actually some pretty damn solid prelims on this card as well, my man. You've got some solid women's fight. Jennifer Maia versus Jessica I. Obviously,
Jessica
we're gonna have
Evil Eye, baby.
Yeah, obviously we're gonna be talking about that, but that's on the early prelims. That's the headliner for the early prelims. So needless to say, this card is going to be pretty damn ridiculous. Sean O'Malley leading off the fucking main card. Can't wait for that. He is a massive favorite. So interested to see what some other betting angles on that one are, because probably not going to be wanting to eat that minus 800 chalk on that one.
No.
A little dry on that chalk these days, but yeah, we've got a hell of a card, man, and I cannot wait to get into it.
Well, let's get with it then, my friend. Actually, as I'm pulling everything up here, the weigh-in show is underway, rocking and rolling right now. So, boys are coming to the scales. Well, before we dive into best bets, everything in between, some fights you guys should tune into. If you don't tune in to anything else outside of McGregor and Poirier, which I don't know why you would, this is a stacked card. These are a few that you got to make sure your eyes are glued to the tube for. Outside of McGregor and Poirier, which I will get real deep into.
Sure.
My thoughts and opinions with that. You're going to want to watch the co-main, ladies and gentlemen. You got Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus Gilbert Burns. That is going to be electric. There is no other way to describe that whatsoever. Cannot wait. I'll also break that down a little bit more when I get some best bets and stuff there. Another one, a couple of, an older dog and then a guy starting to cut his teeth here a little bit more. Actually, he's been in the UFC for a little bit of time now. You got Carlos Condit versus Max Griffin. That should be a scrap and a half.
All right, I have to stop you and laugh.
What do you got?
Because I'm trying to look at some fight logs here as we go through, because the third fight on the main card is Tai Tuivasa versus Greg Hardy.
Right.
Was trying to see Greg Hardy's fight history. It promptly pulled up his NFL stats.
Oh,
and his NFL game log. So I have no idea. He's 7-3 in the UFC, but I don't know who that's against.
All right. Well, hey, no problem at all. We'll get there eventually at some point in time. Not to worry at all. But yeah, they do still have him as a Dallas Cowboy on ESPN. That's pretty interesting. So there you go. Outside of the main card, another great one to watch. Actually, I'm very interested to see how Nico Price handles himself. Nico Price versus Michael Pereira. Going to be very interesting. Michel Pereira. I'm sorry. It's something like that. He's the Brazilian guy. He's they always have a little bit additional enunciation on the old names there. But trained back in the day with some serious Brazilian guys, and that's why I always #don't fade Brazilians in the UFC, because they are some bad dudes.
But you typically do fade one
a card, but we'll see what happens here. Who knows? So make sure you're tuned in for that one. Nico Price, Michel Pereira. Other than that, there's just going to be a lot of guys getting some big names. Trevin Giles versus Strikers Duplessis. That is going to be a solid fight. Both of those guys coming in. Trevin with 14-2 and Drysis 15-2. So that'll be a match and a half. You said it just a little bit ago, partner. Jennifer Maia versus Jessica Evil Eye. That should be a scrap and a half in the women's flyweight. Evil Eye, she actually has all of a sudden turned that career path around and has been running through the competition. So
she's coming up her last. She got 2 losses in the last 2, actually.
Oh, actually, last 2. Who did she fight in the last fight?
Calderwood. Lost to Calderwood.
Joanne Calderwood. That's right. I do remember that. So yeah, that one will be kind of a toss-up. This actually might have Jessica's little bit of a career hanging in the balance more. Yeah. So, and Jennifer Maya has been running through the competition.
Yep,
I know
ran
that
into Valentina Shevchenko.
And that was about it. Yeah, she hit Valentina Shevchenko, and that was the hole in the wall. So
right.
There's that. Omari Akhmedov is fighting Brad Tavares. That'll be a fight and a half. And then for the first time in a long time, I was wondering if we were going to see him back after a few rough losses. Zhalgas Zhumagulov coming back to fight Jerome Rivera, getting the card kicked off. Actually, the second fight of the night. Zhumagulov had pretty traditionally been the first fight of the night, and he had gotten worked a few times back to back. Lot of information swirling around his name about being this big guy who's just a striker and should be able to come in and dominate, and a wrestler, and he's got all the tools, and then he's gotten worked in his last few fights. So I'm interested to see what Zhumagulov does. And then kicking off the card, Alan Amadovsky versus Hu Yazong. That should be pretty solid. They're in middleweight. Those guys are both starting to cut their teeth and really starting to try and get some rankings here in the UFC. So I think it'll be fireworks to kick off the UFC 264 prelims for sure. So there are some fights. Obviously, Sugar Sean, you're going to want to watch, and then Tai Tuivasa, Greg Hardy. Those are going to be some great fights to watch. Let's dive right into. We might as well just get the old main card parlay out of the way here.
Let's go for it.
Get it rocking and rolling, and then I will. I'll also dive into some of the additional fights and some round props and different stuff that I like there as well. So let's hit the UFC 264 main card. What do we got here? 30-1 odds boost on FanDuel, actually, for you guys if you hadn't seen this yet. Place your first $5 wager on outright either McGregor or Poirier to win the fight and receive plus 3,000 exclusive odds payout. So you can only bet $5, but it's $5 to win 150.
Interesting.
So it's plus 3,000. So I mean that's pretty solid, but you got to take.
That's New Year's-ish?
McGregor or Poirierito.
Who
the fuck is that? Who's Poirierito? Who the hell's Poirierito? If anybody at FanDuel's watching this, or if anybody knows anybody at FanDuel,
Poirierito.
Apparently, who's fighting this weekend? You can place your first bet on either McGregor or Poirierito to win the fight. Yeah, that's definitely getting screenshot in case they don't change that. I'll show you guys later on Twitter.
But
so you guys see that.
On top of your boost that you're talking on FanDuel, I believe that one's for new users. If you're on DraftKings, anyone can opt into same thing, McGregor or Poirier, but it's plus 150 odds boost for either side. So if you're liking a side there, it's going to be plus 150.
All right. Well, thank you for that as well, because I hadn't looked at the old DraftKings yet. So let's get right on into it here, ladies and gentlemen. My main card parlay this week for UFC 264. First fight on the card, the main card, Sugar Sean O'Malley versus Chris Mutino. You know where I'm going to land. However, I'm going to do a quick little look. On FanDuel, Sugar Sean is at minus 1,000 to win this fight. So obviously, that's where I'm siding. However, to make this a little bit less, holy shit, there's no way.
Yeah,
that's just terrible.
You might not. Yeah, might as well skip it if you're doing that.
Yeah, exactly. Sugar Sean by KO or TKO, still pretty chalky, but minus 290 for Sugar Sean.
Might be the safe play for a parlay.
Yeah, honestly. So I will drop in Sugar Sean O'Malley by KO or TKO for the first leg on my main card parlay.
Now, before we get into anything else, gun to your
sir.
head, what round? Because you get plus money if you correctly pick the round that he wins. Sorry, it's not even KO.
Let me get into that outside
that's fair.
of the main card parlay, because I got a couple of those I want to rock.
Go right through.
So I'll come back to that. I got some round props too. I'll come back to that, because some of these higher odds, I'll definitely go into those. All right, keeping it moving. Irene Aldana versus Yana Kunitskaya. Irene Aldana coming off of a unanimous decision defeat against Holly Holm in the last fight, and then I do believe, I guess I could look this up, but I'm just trying to test my knowledge.
I got it right here.
So she lost to Holly Holm in her last unanimous decision. Lost 2 out of her last 5, and then Anna Kunitskaya has won 4 out of her last 5. I know that for a fact, Jack. She is solid. She is dominant.
You said she won or lost 4 of the last
1 4 of the last 5.
Okay,
And it's gotten me in trouble the last couple cards here going against some of these Russian fighters and some of these Dagestan fighters. Like that's what they do. And when they are in an underdog spot, they tend to show up even better than they were anticipated to. So I got burned pretty hard on that on a much, much larger underdog than this last week.
Okay.
And Kunitskaya is right at minus 102 right now as an underdog on FanDuel. So I'm going to go ahead and lock in Yana Kunitskaya.
Okay.
I think she's just a little bit better, well-rounded fighter. She, just for being a little bit shorter, she still does have plenty of reach, and I think she might end up taking this to the ground and just ground and pounding the mess out of Aldana here. So there's where I'm going to lie. I'm going to go Kunitskaya versus Aldana. So there's my second one.
That's my of the main card. That's the one I am least familiar with, so I'll definitely have to ride with you on that one.
Yeah, it feels like the safer play. Not that I don't like Aldana, not that Aldana isn't good, but hashtag don't fade Russians.
Okay,
not hashtag don't bet against Brazilian, but hashtag don't fade Russians.
Okay,
so there you go. Moving into the third fight on the main card, Tai Tuivasa, Greg Hardy. We talked about it before, just a little bit ago, but this one's a little bit challenging for me. I can't lie to you guys. Greg Hardy, let me peep out old Tapology because they don't have any problem with dropping stuff in.
NFL
stuff. So yeah, they're not going to have.
ridiculous.
Let's see. Greg, the Prince of War Hardy, ladies and gentlemen, going into his previous fights. Oh, he's coming off of that loss to Marcin Tybura in his last one in round 2 by ground and pound. Then he had also beat Maurice Green and Jorgen De Castro in those 2 previous matchups. Decision and then TKO victory against Maurice Green. Before that, I forgot that Jorgen De Castro bout had been canceled twice. They've been trying to schedule that a lot.
Right.
That was going back and forth. And then before that, he took a loss to Alexander Volkov, who, as we just saw, get worked by Cyril Gane for 5 rounds. So, I kind of want to lean Greg Hardy.
Really?
However, I just don't trust him enough. He has shown me just... And not to say that this is turning me all the way off, but there's certain instances, like he's used an inhaler a few times in the cage.
Don't love to see that.
It always seems to just be something in a Greg Hardy fight. There's always something with him in a Greg Hardy fight. And, I'm all about the Aussies, and I'm betting on a shoey here with this fight. So give me all a Tai Tuivasa to get this one done. Currently right now, minus 142 favorite, so I will gladly hammer him in.
Yeah, I'll be backing you on that one. I can't remember what he said, but somebody asked him about the shoeys, and he was kind of like, "Yeah, I kind of realize that it's gross, but I got to do it."
It is what it is.
Paraphrasing, but it's something along those lines.
And also it's an Australian thing. You just got to do it. And he's coming off of a great win against Harry Hunsucker. I forgot about that one, and then beat Stefan Struve. I had a few rough losses before that, but man, I think he is the real deal, Holyfield, and this is going to be one of those fights that'll kind of get him along and man,
kind of knocking on the door of the top half there.
Yeah, definitely. And I just don't think Ty has enough to get it done. So there you
Greg?
go. Oh yeah, Greg, to get it done. I apologize. Ty has more than enough. Bam has more than enough to get it done. All right, moving right along. Co-main, Dorino Burns. Boo-ha! Gilbert Dorino Burns. That is the new thing of all the Brazilians when they get a big win or whatever. Boo-ha is their. I'm not exactly sure what that means. I got to find that out, but I know they said it one time on a broadcast. Either way, Dorino facing Wonder Boy. Wonder Boy is the favorite here, minus 156, and I think very deservedly so. I don't think you're getting. I don't think these lines are off. I really don't. I don't think just because Burns is coming off of that loss to Kamaru Usman that you're getting him at plus 122. I don't think that's all that factors into this. A lot of people don't realize how doggone good Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is. He comes from a karate background. He's been fighting since he was 4 or 5 years old. I mean, he has done the damn thing, walk the walk, talk the talk. And it actually kind of looked like he was going to be going out. He had a great win over Jorge Masvidal, and then he lost back-to-back fights against Darren Till and Anthony Pettis. And it's like, those are some of the guys in the division right now you need to be beaten. Well, Darren Till fades into the black. Anthony Pettis goes over to PFL, fades into the black. Wonderboy Thompson steps the fuck up and says, hey, you want to put these young guys in front of me and try and kickstart their career off of one of me and use me as a springboard as an old dog? Not here today. Back-to-back wins coming off of against Vicente Luque and Jeff Neal, two very, very, very scary and dominant opponents at the 170-pound weight class. He handled them with ease. I believe firmly that Durinho is going to try and turn this into a grappling match. Period. Point blank. Period. He cannot outstrike Wonderboy. He cannot come in and try and have all those power bombs and shot that he does, or he's going to catch a whip kick right to the jaw, and he's going to go sleepy sleep like so many fighters before him have against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. So with all that being said, I think that Thompson is going to be more than prepared to keep this fight on the feet. We've seen it from him time and time again. He is a veteran of the UFC. I think he is in a very, very good mindset. He knows exactly what the UFC is trying to use him for, and actually, right now, he's got a very solid opportunity to plant himself once again in the top 5 at the 170 class. So I got to lock in Stephen Thompson, man. I think he gets the job done. I hate to say it, as electrifying as Durinho looked coming up from 155 into 170, I just think he kind of starts struggling like he was at 155, and I don't know if he can ever recover from the loss to Usman, because that was more than just a title loss to him. That was a loss to somebody who had trained with him for a very long time and somebody he was very confident he could beat, and pieced him up and worked him up. So,
not to mention, you look back at his last handful of fights before that. I mean, it's not the most star-studded cast of dudes that he ran through. I mean, the biggest name on there is Tyrone Woodley, but that's on
Robert Whitaker.
I'm just talking about, I'm talking about the last few.
Yeah,
the last few. And Tyron Woodley was Woodley obviously on the back half of his career, the very end of his career. So nothing.
Well, it was actually a majority draw against Tyron Woodley.
Okay,
and then that was actually for the welterweight strap when Tyron Woodley was the champion, and then they ran it back and Woodley got the second. So that's kind of where his bump in the road was, and then they all thought he was going to start fading and yada yada yada, and then he got Jeff Neal, got Vicente Luque, and Stephen Thompson's back.
Okay.
So
no, I'm talking about Burns. This is his last handful of fights.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Thompson.
Yeah, no.
Burns.
I'm talking about Burns. I'm right aligned with you on Wonderboy. I'm right there with you on that. I'm talking Burns last. Burns had last handful of fights before Usman aren't super impressive as far as star-studded.
Absolutely. That's what I was about to say. I'm like, damn, Wonderboy's got a shitload of star-studded on him. Like Darren Till, Anthony Pettis, Tyron Wood. Like what? Wait, what?
Yeah, sorry,
Johnny Hendricks. I'm like, what?
No.
Okay, now I got you now. So yeah, definitely. Durinho just hasn't had some of these guys, and man, I just like Stephen Thompson, his shot right now to get into the top 5. So give me Stephen Thompson for the 4th leg there. And ladies and gentlemen, for the main event of the evening, Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier, the rubber match. Oh boy. I am getting so excited even just thinking about this, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say this accurately and say this right, which is why I took a brief pause here. So, a lot of people will talk and will say that Conor McGregor has lost 4 out of his last 7 fights. He's not the same guy that he once was. He's gotten too wrapped up into the glitz and the glamour and being a billionaire by the time he's 35, and he turns 33 next week. And he's got a kid and a family and his wife, and he's got proper 12, and he's got all this shit going on. He's not a fighter anymore. He's done. He doesn't need to even fight. What's the point of even fighting? I just said it to you right there. Mystic Mac doesn't have to do this fight. He has no need to show up at the T-Mobile Arena. He does not need to cash another 10-figure check. Let me reassure you of that. He could fall off the face of the earth right now, never have another deal, and his kids, grandkids would still be fine. That all being said, he's doing it. He's doing it to prove to you, to me, to you, to everybody out there that has either been a McGregor fan or a McGregor doubter that he's still Mystic Mac. And I'm buying back into the hype this time. Few key reasons, though. I will be taking Conor McGregor on the money line to win this fight, to win the trilogy, because I think he's back. And this is not I think Conor's back. I think he's back. I have watched Conor McGregor for the better part of a decade now. And I haven't seen him like this since 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019 when he's holding both belts. I haven't seen him like this in a long time. In Abu Dhabi, I told you this, partner. He's looking a little thicker. They fought up. They fought at a heavier weight class. He had the wife, the kids with him. They rolled out the red carpet. He showed up in a Rolls Royce. They had everything out for him in Abu Dhabi. A huge private luxury suite because the king was back. You know, the whole deal. And he admitted it. He bought into that. And that has tended to happen here recently over Conor McGregor's late career. He has had a great fight. All the fanfare, everything comes back, makes shitload of money, does some deals, does some everything. His name's back up on lights, takes another fight, and gets starched. And then he comes back, wins the fight. Next fight, gets starched. Well, he's coming off of that starching to Dustin Poirier, and I watched the entire press conference last night. And this is the Mystic Mac. He is back. I have not seen the bony-faced, weight-cutting Conor for so long. And he looks scary. He looks primed. And a man that steps into an octagon and is crazy enough to lock themselves in there with another man and has no reason to be in there at all to survive in life, but is simply doing that because of legacy, that's a man I cannot I cannot fade. So I will gladly, because I also think a lot of the people who will be betting on Dustin Poirier, which I do believe it's going to be a large majority of the public, are going to be betting based on fight number 2, not based on these two gentlemen's career paths in the UFC and what the differences in the level that McGregor is on compared to Poirier. You will see a difference on Saturday. It was that's fight 2. Yeah, that's all I'll say. But you're gonna see a difference on Saturday. Let me tell you that. Okay. So, 5th and final main card bet: Conor McGregor money line.
With all that being said, partner,
you're going Poirier, huh?
I'm leaning towards Dustin, my man, and not that you didn't nail everything you just said, because I do like what you just said. I'm going Dustin, my man.
Why you got Dustin?
I mean,
just because he won the last fight.
No, it's not just because of the last one.
The line should be like that, and
that's part of it, though. Why I'm curious as to why Conor is the underdog in this fight, despite the last one. I feel like that's gonna
because they want
lead
the
more
newbie
people to
UFC fighters. They want the newbie UFC. Nah, that's not how lines work. They don't work like football.
Okay.
They don't work like football in the UFC. That's something I've learned.
Okay.
However, I get what you're saying.
And I'm not calling you a homer by any means, because you had fantastic.
No. This is not a homer play.
You had fantastic.
I am not
analysis,
as nearly high on Conor McGregor as I used to be. However, he's still one of my favorite fighters of all time. But he has shown some holes in his game. However, this is not the Conor McGregor we saw in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, I'm not married to my pick here. My mind could be changed, but I might be going Dustin. Now, this is one of the few fights that we get every single year. There's 3-4 fights every single year that once the fight is starting, you just feel anxious as it's starting, and in a good way. Like, oh shit, something's about to go down, and I'm ready for all of it. And the landscape of this division in the UFC is going to be changed because of this. And I think that's going to be delivered tomorrow night, and I think we're going to see fireworks.
I think so too. I think we are definitely going to see fireworks. Hey, whatever you want, whatever you think. If you want to roll with Dustin again, but I'm just here to tell you, for those of you new UFC fans who've only been watching for about a year, 2 years now consistently, there's a whole other side of Conor McGregor that you have not had the pleasure to watch in the octagon yet. You saw him so far, if you have been watching for that amount of time, you saw him for 20 seconds against Donald Cerrone, and then you saw him for 3 rounds, wanting to get rounds, something that Conor McGregor doesn't do, and get starched by Dustin Poirier. That's all you've seen of him. You're about to see a whole new Conor McGregor. I'm trying to tell you. But don't believe me, whatever you want to do. One more time, my main card parlay of the day. Not of the day, of the weekend of the UFC 264 fight card. One more time. I am taking Sugar Sean O'Malley, not on the money line, but I am taking method of victory. Sean O'Malley by KO or TKO, right around minus 290 odds on there. Second leg, I'm taking Yana Kunitskaya over Irene Aldana. Third fight, I am taking Tai Tuivasa over Greg Hardy. Fourth fight, co-main, I am taking Stephen Thompson over Gilbert Burns. And for the fifth and final main event of the evening, I'm taking Conor McGregor over Dustin Poirier.
Alrighty, what's your odds there?
I got odds of 1.375.
Okay, so if you like the first four of his plays, but you like Dustin over Conor, it is 12.35.
All right. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Either way you want to lean, whatever you want to do, there you have it. Let me make sure, as always, I do that just in case. All right. Perfect. There we go. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. My main card parlay. All right. Now, just a few additional bets that I think are worth mentioning, I think are worth adding to your Saturday evening bet slip here. Obviously, yes, Sean O'Malley, you have absolutely insane odds on this right now.
And you mentioned it. You don't know much about this Moutinho guy, correct?
Not much at all. He doesn't have a whole huge background. As a matter of fact, while I have Tapology pulled up and rocking and rolling, shout out to Tapology. You guys have been my go-to for once again, the better part of a decade. Thank you so much. You guys have some of the best shit on the planet. But yes, he still has not fought in the UFC. It's because he's been in the CFFC and the CS. So yeah, very surprising to see him getting the fight against Sugar Sean O'Malley. I mean, does the UFC know something we don't?
I don't know.
And it's almost kind of a slap in the face to Sugar Sean if you say to me you're giving him a guy on his UFC debut, like just because of what happened against Marlon Vera. But granted, the big knock on Sugar is injuries, man. He can't stay off the fucking injury bus, man. I mean,
we talked about it last time, and he ended up, I don't remember, maybe it was 2 fights ago, but he's been vocal about it. He's going for the highlight reel play, and in some cases, I think at some point it's going to come back and bite him in the ass, because I can't remember if it was last fight or the fight before. He basically had the fight finished, but chose to not really finish that fight because he wanted to have a better highlight reel knockout. So yeah. I don't know. I'm not saying that's going to bite him in the ass today or tomorrow, because we're both on him to win by knockout. But if you're taking O'Malley and you can believe that you will if you're taking Sean O'Malley, I'm stumbling over my words so hard here. Round 1, 2, or 3. If you can correctly pick the round, plus money on all of them. Round 1 plus 105. So the books think he's going to get it done in round 1, plus 320 on round 2, plus 900 in round 3 to go the distance.
You can actually even get better odds than that, than just in a round. You can do a double combo. You can do method of victory and round combo, which is what I wanted to dive into.
Okay.
For some really, really good odds. You can go Sean O'Malley, KO, TKO, round 1, plus 110. So I'm glad you said that, because it's plus literally just a little bit more.
That's fair.
And you're getting just a little bit better odds on it. You even go into round 2, which, I don't know, plus 350. So, I don't like a round in particular because it could be that same exact thing we saw last time where he doesn't go to walk it off, and who knows what the case might be. I don't know enough about this Moutinho guy to really say if he's going to be able to hold his own. I mean, he's only got 2 losses out of his last 7 fights. So I mean, he's been decent. He's been. I guess obviously he's a formidable opponent, but I'm not buying into it whatsoever. But yeah, I think another good safe bet would be Sugar Sean O'Malley winning round 1. That plus 105 wouldn't be a bad bet whatsoever. Just a sprinkle on the side. Not getting the greatest odds on it, but you can also go over under 1.5.
Yep. So I was just gonna
under 1.5 maybe, but you could also potentially sprinkle that over 1.5 because it's only a plus 158. And if he does that walk-off shit like last time, that's just fine because we only need to get to 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Right.
Well,
second round,
2 minutes and 29 seconds in the second round, and that bet cashes. So it's worth a look. Let me just tell you that it's worth a look. But we'll see. We'll see if we hammer in any of that other jazz there. I'll be sure to keep you guys updated on the old Twitter. However, outside of that, for the co-main, might be worth a look. Little Steven Wonderboy Thompson, KO TKO. Not saying he gets it, not saying he does it, but for plus 350 odds and his track record, that's worth a look and a half. Let me tell you that. He's got some serious, even though he doesn't look like it, he's got some serious knockout power. And I think if Gilbert gets a little bit too over anxious and gets a little bit too confident, I think he'd go sleep real fast. Yeah. So that's definitely worth a look to me there.
Goofy thing to just double check on certain types of these props, because I mean, I was interested, as you said, that I'm interested in what Thompson's double chance is, TKO or on points. It's minus 160, but his money line is at minus 156. How the hell does that make a lick of sense?
Not really at all. Not really whatsoever. So that, and then also this too. If you do like that KO TKO prop for Steven Thompson, you're getting under 2.5 rounds at plus 122 right now.
Okay.
So another little something to think about there. That's a very short line, and that would be all the way to 2 minutes and 29 seconds in the third round. So that's a lot of time. So that under, not worth passing by. You might want to give that one a look as well. Let me look. I really wanted to see here from McGregor Poirier, because once again, even though I had to pick McGregor there, I will be rooting for McGregor. That's where I lie. This is a fight fans fight. This is period what it is. I've been thinking about this fight forever. Ever since the second fight got done in Abu Dhabi, I knew this was probably going to be the next fight that we saw out of these two. I mean, Dustin's been saying that up and down. I mean, that was the only real logical thing you could do for either one of these guys going forward. So, you know, that all being said, I kind of like a little round prop action here. For what the odds are, and this kind of goes against, well, my bet, and if it goes into this action, it very easily can become Dustin Poirier's fight. Mm-hmm. But over 2.5 rounds for plus 106 is not too shabby whatsoever. Not too shabby. So I don't know. It's something worth a look, but also the under 2.5 is only at minus 134. So that over is definitely worth a look. I mean, we'll see. But once again, I'll see some of the line movement over the course of today and then into tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow morning. And I'll definitely, if I hammer any additional outstanding props, you know I'll always drop them on Twitter and everything out there. So make sure you're following me there so you can get a lowdown on everything I got coming out tomorrow.
So if I've got a question for you, if Conor McGregor's winning, do you definitely believe that it's round 1, 2, or 3? Okay. Odds for that, Conor to win in round 1, 2, or 3 are at plus 165. Those are better odds than him to win by KO or knockout, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so
plus 150 for McGregor by KO, TKO in the entire fight.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if that is if Conor wins, that's how this fight goes. I mean, there's no other option. It's either got to be early in the first or second round, because
sure.
if this, and Dustin said it too, I mean, it is the truth, and Conor knows this. If it's a 5-round point fight, that is Dustin Poirier's mojo.
Yeah,
it's where he loves. Diamonds are formed under pressure, and that's how he has his nickname. That's the fight he loves. So Conor wants to win this fight. He's got to come in and get him out early. Now, we'll see what Dustin actually intends on doing. That's actually a very, very kind of thing that everybody's talking about. Is he going to wrestle? Is he going to shoot right off the bat? Is he going to stand and bang to start it off like before? Is he going to really utilize those calf kicks like he did in the last fight? Has Conor learned to be able to check those calf kicks? Is Conor going to be throwing calf kicks of his own? Is Conor going to try any type of ground game? There's so much that could go into this fight, and I honestly have no idea. I don't know what way it's going to play out. I don't know. But what I do believe and what I think is that Conor's going to come in an entirely different beast, and I think that he catches Dustin early and he gets him out of there. So if you want to go under, yeah, you're siding with me. You think McGregor, but I honestly think that This is going to be real interesting. We heard Dustin yesterday at the press conference. They asked him, so what are you going to do? And you know, classic mind game. He says, I'm going to shell and shoot. And then just drop the phone or drop the mic. So obviously his entire game plan is not to shell and shoot, but he is, we'll see. We'll
Keeping
see
that
what
under
happens.
wraps, no doubt.
Yeah, no idea what's going to come of that. No idea what's going to happen. But I can promise you one thing. It's going to be one hell of a fight.
Like I said, you agree that this is one of the few 3-4 fights a year where you're just anxious as fuck when it starts?
Yeah,
it's like, oh boy.
You have no idea what's going to go. Yeah, this is when that first...
Because I love both these guys. I'm a huge fan of both of these guys, honestly.
When old Herb does a 1, a 2, and a skiddly diddly do, it's about to go down. Yeah. I cannot wait. Ladies and gentlemen. So, anything else you saw there, partner? Anything I did not hit, didn't talk about? Anything in between?
I don't think so. Who, if you got one lock on those prelims, who's your maybe
lock of the prelims
or favorite?
I like where your head's at. Lock of the prelims.
I don't think Jessica I's taking this one, in my opinion.
Yeah, Maya's just a little bit too substantial of a favorite to bet straight up. If you want some good odds that I don't think is too crazy. No. No. I mean, I got so two guys I would look at. I'll give you a dog and I'll give you a favorite. Favorite, I would say Michael Pereira, but I'm honestly kind of looking at the lines too, and that's why I'm taking both sides. But doggone it, they're almost the same. Michael Pereira minus 168 over Nico Price. I think Michelle is just going to be a little bit too much for Nico.
Okay.
Nico's a dog. Don't get me wrong, he's a great fighter, but I think Michelle is just going to be a little bit too much for Nico. And then underdog Omari Akhmedov against Brad Tavares. Hashtag do not fade Russians.
Okay.
He's an underdog plus 138. You're getting decent odds on him, and I think Brad Tavares is just a little bit too favored at minus 176. Okay. Just a little bit too high. So couple of prelim locks I think might be worth an addition to your Saturday evening bet slip. Omari Akhmedov and Michelle Pereira. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my friends, that officially does it for UFC 264 card breakdown, main card parlay, side bets, everything in between. That might be one of the longest ones.
Worth it for this card.
150% worth it. Honestly, not too crazy. Anything else we got to get into here? Just a couple of quick, a couple quick little things here to touch on. We already are pretty much at the usual time we'd be at for the entire Rants and Reactions. So we'll get it wrapped up here shortly. But quick little update for the kind folks out there, partner. John Deere Classic. How are things rocking and rolling?
John Deere Classic, you got Sebastian Munoz. They are right in the middle of round 2 right now, but minus 12 for Munoz right now. Like we said, not any huge names. A little bit of oversight on our part because the Scottish Open is happening on the European Tour. And John Rahm, as it stands right now, is tied for the lead on the European Tour. Dare I say back-to-back majors for Mr. John Rahm next week because we got the British Open coming up next week. Dare I say it, partner?
Quite possibly. But he's got to get this win first in order to go back-to-back.
No, I'm saying next week, major. This priming him up for next week's major.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Open
Okay,
champion.
Yeah. Get back-to-back major championships. Okay, I get where you're going there. Quite possibly. Dad power, my friend.
He's going to be
knows?
the favorite. He's got to be the favorite.
I would say so.
But, that's what we got going on European Tour. Oversight on our part. Rory McIlroy getting his clubs taken.
Random fan just walking out right in the middle of the fairway during, and just, hey, let me...
I think it was the tee box, but either way.
Tee box, either way. Hey, let me test this bad boy out. See what we got rocking and rolling.
Yeah, didn't make a single... If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Didn't make a single bit of eye contact with anyone. Just rolled up, grabbed Rory's club right out, trying to grab it, fumbled with it a little bit, and they kind of look at him like, what? And then he just grabs it and just... over on the side, just doing a little bit of this action, and I wish it would have happened to somebody else that would have just been like, "Hey, dude, what the fuck are you doing?"
People have just lost their minds, my friend. I don't even want to say we because I am not. I don't fall into that category. I would never show up at a fucking PGA event and take a professional's club and
Let
start
alone
testing
the most
it out.
famous one in the country or in the continent of Europe.
What are you doing?
We talked about We talked about fans like shouting in Phil Mickelson's backswing as like the peak of golf, like the equivalent to what's been going on in the NBA.
Yeah,
right.
this is the worst it could get, and it's got even worse. Like, boys and girls, this is not the NBA playoffs. This is PGA Tour golf. What are we doing?
Obviously, we have no idea who that guy is, but that's just looked like some like Larry David shit. Like, like for whatever reason, he's just like absolutely no choice, has to go. Like, what is he working with over here? Like, what is there a difference here? Like,
I gotta know. I gotta
know. Is there something different here? Like, that's what I saw.
Then he ends up breaking it or something on the backswing. Or hey, I might have to, for a potential blog, write that Curb Your Enthusiasm episode.
Well, that's not a bad idea at all.
Might have
some
to.
fan fiction.
Holy shit, man! Where's my pen? You're playing with my pen. Here we go. Let's see. Curb episode. LD on T-Box. Hey, you guys might be seeing a blog coming out here soon.
They take notes.
There you go. So that'll probably be coming out shortly, my friends. I cannot lie to you. Once the blog is up and running,
just a little test. No.
Gonna have a little Curb Your Enthusiasm script as one of the upcoming blogs here. So that should be absolutely electric. There you go. There you have it. Everything coming out PGA wise. Few brief updates. NFL. Nothing crazy there. Nothing to really dive into. We already took enough of your time, but just a brief reminder. 62 days. That is all we have left, ladies and gentlemen. By the time we see you next, it will be under a month.
Oh, 2 months.
Under 2 months. I'm sorry. By the time we see you next. Yeah, hopefully you're not away that long. Oh, shit. Might have messed that one up, huh? Either way, there you go. You know us, big college basketball guys over here on this side of the table. We've been counting down with John Rothstein. 123 days remain until the college basketball season is upon us once again. Outside of that, nothing too crazy. Couple quick pit stops in the MLB and the NBA. NHL is all but over, so it'll be a while before you hear us talk about that again. But a couple updates in the MLB. Told you a few days back that Jake DeGrom had decided to opt out of the MLB All-Star Game for this season. Nothing really cited about it, but just decided not to. Well, we have a few more players now who have decided to stay out. And partner, I ask you, is this due to them wanting to continue some sort of hot streak that they're on and avoid any risk of injury, or is it potentially because that the two gentlemen we are about to discuss have such an aura and cloud around them that they don't want to risk being booed off the damn diamond?
I don't know. It's I'm thinking maybe a little bit of a combination of both. They'll probably cite it as the first case of it. But Carlos Correa and Jose Altuve gonna take a seat during this All-Star game, not in the All-Star game on the bench, but at home enjoying their time off. Because I can't fault people for wanting to skip the All-Star game, but you have to wonder: are we gonna get our ass chewed out by the fans? Is it gonna be awkward as fuck in the dugout with my fellow
All-Star
teammates who probably freaking hate us?
Yep.
Obviously, a little bit of the heat has been taken off of them with obviously sticky stuff coming out and sprinklings of other rumors. In the past
maybe not even if adding more heat to them because of how much this has become a dog and pony show with the war on sticky stuff and how little anything happened with the Houston Astros.
Yeah. What? I just had this thought. What if we get an All-Star game sticky stuff ejection? How wild would that be?
That would be electrifying. I would wonder...
Are they going to do checks, first of all? That's what I want to know. Are they going to do checks at the All-Star game?
Will they be checking at the MLB All-Star game?
I need to know this question.
That's interesting.
I need to know this question.
Actually, I got to find out the answer to that as well. So we will be writing that down probably also. Are they going to be checking at the All-Star game? Are we going to have potential sticky stuff being snuck in and we ain't going to see no offense?
Lock of the night for the home run derby. Someone's going to make the joke like, let me check the pitcher or for whatever guy. Oh, what you got in your glove there?
Probably.
Lock of the night.
I would imagine. I have no doubt behind that. So there you go. Correa and Altuve both sitting out this year's ASG, ladies and gentlemen.
Good. Who cares?
Who cares either way? We don't need any trash can bangers on this side of the dugout. So moving right along, partner, I know your heart's fluttering. I know you've been just jumping for joy. Oh, don't even play it down over there. Like, you are not
I thought we were moving on, actually. Sorry.
overjoyed. Not overjoyed. Quick little stop. One more stop. Wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt, the B of the D, if you will. A little bit of time to have the floor. Eloy Jimenez coming back for your White Sox, my friend. A little bit of a rehab assignment down in AAA Charlotte, and then sliding on back over to Guaranteed Rate Field. How you feeling about that, pal?
I'm feeling great. He's actually starting in single A, but that doesn't matter.
single A. Okay.
I don't know if he's going to be working through double A. Then triple A, don't know that, but it doesn't sound like it's going to be too long of a rehab stint. We might see him come August, if not the end of July. I am absolutely juiced. We need some bats right now, and this man has the biggest one of them all, arguably. But I am so damn juiced. I love this guy so much. Sounds like we're going to be throwing him in the DH spot, thank goodness, because he has a liability to himself, the team, as far as an actual skill set, and his other teammates, because he is brutal in the field. This present injury aside, because that is how he injured himselself, and it's
Trying to rob a home run in spring training.
but he's injured himself multiple times. So just take the gun out of his hands and keep him on the with the
him at
bat
the
in his
plate.
hand.
Yeah.
And apparently he's not super pumped about that, but he'll do whatever he has to do for his team. Like, I have to admire his desire to be better in the field, but he's absolutely brutal. But he is a monster with the stick, and it sounds like he is more than, at least according to him, he is a very confident and boisterous and very optimistic guy. But according to him, he is over 100% better than he was before the
really?
injury.
Oh, really?
Because there was concern that due to it's a pectoral, ruptured pectoral, I believe. I could be butchering that. But either way, there was concern that when he comes back, he might be healthy, not much risk of re-injuring, but there might be like a little bit, like 80-90% of his power still there,
Like a little hitch in his...
as he's trying to kind of regain that strength. Though, like his swing will still be fine. The ball just might not be jumping as much. I don't know, but according to him, he's rearing to go, and we need the bat.
Well, if you couldn't tell, Mr. Magnuson is more than excited to have old Eloy back in the Sox black and white. So if you're a Sox fan out there listening to the pod and you haven't heard it yet, Eloy is right around the corner. So
Lou Bob is next.
will he be the savior of the season? Who knows? But then Lou Bob will be
Lou
coming
Bob
right
is
around
next,
the corner.
then
So
Yasmani.
you don't even want to get this
Don't get me
guy
started.
started on the second man he just mentioned, because we'll be here for another 2.5 hours. So moving right along through the MLB.
Get
Thank
excited.
you for the White Sox update there, partner. Last but not least, the NBA.
This is where I
Game-
thought you were going. That's why I was like, I thought you were
Game
gonna
2,
roast me.
no, not at all. Game 2 last night, Milwaukee Bucks and Phoenix Suns. And partner, you are singing a different tune this morning, but I think I've bought into the hype. Suns in 4.
Yeah, I'm singing a little bit different tune. Hats off to the Suns. I am changing my tone as far as the full series is concerned. I just think the Bucks, they're something like 6 or 7-1 at home, so I think they get at least one of these games at home. Giannis was freaking unbelievable. One of the better losing performances that I've ever seen in a finals game. I bet heavy on him, and of course, they just didn't get the win, but I do have some confidence in Chris Middleton going back home, because we've kind of seen this all playoffs long, where he especially struggles on the road and then he kind of figures it out at home. Drew Holiday was a lot better on defense, so I think that continues. However, he was still not good on offense, and I don't know if that's because Chris Middleton wasn't really picking up the slack, so he thought he had to, because he was really forcing a lot of stuff in the lane, trying to force these floaters, and he's just not that guy. You're not that guy, pal.
Right.
You're
not that guy,
You're
pal.
not that guy, pal. And he just doesn't have the touch.
You are?
Yeah, I
You're
mean,
right, I am.
yeah, exactly. And yeah, but Giannis was, oh my gosh, he was unbelievable. And so I think he keeps that level up. Maybe the Suns throw some different stuff at him, but he was, you could tell he was kind of still like kind of wincing every once in a while. But then the next play, you see him going 25, 30 miles an hour, bowling down people in the
Right.
lane. I
Right.
think he's gonna stay on that level and be amazing. It just kind of depends on if they can get some help, because their depth is lacking right now, because the Suns' depth, they have lost a couple guys, but their depth is still really solid. But I think they get at least one of these at home. I'm not too married to it, but I wouldn't be surprised if we're 2-2 heading back to Phoenix. But I also thought the Bucks were going to get at least one of these games here in Phoenix.
I don't think we get out of Milwaukee, my friend. I really don't. I just think the Suns are too doggone powerful for anything the Bucks want to do. I don't know what more the Bucks can adjust, what more they can do, short of putting more buckets in the basket, and that is appearing to be something that they are not very good at right now. You can't have can't have your all-star. I mean, I tweeted it out this morning. Just the lines for the top 3 guys on either team for the Bucks and the Suns. I mean, the disparity in that is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, for the Bucks, you have Giannis with 42, 12, and 4, 12 rebounds, 4 assists. Same order. Holiday 17 points, 5 and 7, and then Connaughton with 14, 7 and 1. Then you look to the Suns, and you got Booker with 31, 5 and 6, Bridges 27, 7 and 1, and Paul with 23, 4 and 8. I mean, you can't have that much disparity. And are you telling me you're going to try and depend on Drew Holiday? Okay, even regardless if Middleton steps up next 3 or game 4, whatever the case might be, so then that makes Pat Connaughton the guy you got to ring everything on, or Bryn Forbes the guy you got to lay everything on.
You're not wrong as far as
I don't think so.
Pat Connaughton is just not quite. He's same thing. You're not that guy, pal. He's he would be decent if it was the deeper on the bench, still coming off as a little sprinkle, but too much is on his shoulders.
They just have no depth, man.
You're not wrong. The way they've been playing at home in these playoffs, they've been really damn good, especially Chris Middleton at home. So that's where I'm lying, because he's been brutal, especially last night. He was brutal. He was a ghost out there. So I think, and you're not wrong, but I do think just from what I've seen from them at home throughout the playoffs, because they kind of did that in Atlanta too, and then they came right back home and bounced back on the back of, maybe not on the back of Chris Middleton, but Chris Middleton was a big part of that. So that's kind of where I'm lying on that.
All right. Well, you know how he feels. You know how I feel. The jury is still out, but it sure seems like everybody's thinking Suns in 4. Who knows what's happening? I'm even myself starting to pick up a little pace. Maybe I can get a seat on the bandwagon. Who knows? Either way, that about does it for the NBA. Nothing other outstanding. No new coaching hires or trades or anything like that as of yet.
You could probably sneak right into that bandwagon, no problem.
I think I could.
I don't know if you could be like, "Hey, Suns in 4." Or they'd be like, "Have you been on here?" But I think
you've been here.
Just kind of slip in.
Yeah, it'd be like, "Hey, yeah, Suns in 4. Yeah, Suns in 4, man. Suns in 4." Yeah, I think I could.
I think I could sneak on.
Get right on in there. I think I could. And the Suns have never won an NBA title. I'm sure I can find a Suns t-shirt at a thrift shop somewhere, slap that bad boy on, and
got ourselves a Goodwill around the corner.
Hey, right around the corner. I might be part of the bandwagon.
New shirts for the pod anyways.
Who knows what's going to happen here? I might be part of the Suns and 4 bandwagon by the next time you see me. Maybe I'll have all purple and gold on. We'll see. Who knows what happens? Purple and orange, either way, same color, same difference. You know where I'm at. The sun is gold. I think it's more gold than orange.
Their sun isn't. Our sun, the sun, sure. Their sun is definitely orange.
Well, their sun is a made-up sun, and I'm talking about the real sun.
All right, fair enough.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. There you have it. Today's Rants and Reactions. That about is the doggone show. Before we get this thing wrapped up, partner, anything burning on the brain, melting on the heart, festering on the soul, you need to deliver to these kind folks that joined us on episode 77 to get them on into their weekend.
Okay, I got a question for you.
Lay it on me.
Gonna be coming out of retirement on the softball field tonight. Some late night action. It's been a few years.
Hey, be careful with that Achilles, pal. I need your ass over here Monday through Friday.
Hey, man, I'll be all good.
All right.
I've been out of retirement. The Achilles injury was not the reason I went into retirement.
Well, I don't care either way, but the last time you got into any type of athletic activity, we had to do that.
No. Yeah,
please be careful, sir. Please.
Not the question
I don't need an ambulance visit tonight.
Okay, well, maybe
continue.
I'll be pitcher, and if I'm hitting dingers, I don't have to run the bases if I'm hitting dingers.
Well, quite the mindset there, so I'll buy in. Continue,
With
please.
that being said, I played baseball growing up, promptly stopped, and then played one season of softball 3-4 years ago, but I'm back on it tonight. Whose batting stance am I going with tonight? Am I going a little Gary Sheffield, or am I standing tall like my man Big Hurt, poised at the plate? Am I going a little Ichiro, or any thoughts? Some sweet swinging Ken Griffey Jr.?
It's because it was my batting stance, and I always just felt so good doing it. Old Derek Lee. Derek Lee had that nice bout. Yeah, well, it's going to be mine either way.
Next.
Derek Lee had a badass friggin'. He had the always front foot back, the classic like Alfonso Soriano too, but just not as big as a leg kick. But that's who I modeled my. That many people probably didn't know that actually. I actually forgot that's who I modeled my batting stance after was Derek Lee. I absolutely loved his front foot back, and I just felt good doing it. But you could do a little. Who was the old? Who did the flap?
I know what you're talking about. I'm blanking though.
And it was always.
Yeah. I'm not gonna do any of that. That seems like some 6-year-old stuff because I feel like 6-year-olds always, especially the Gary Sheffield.
Who knows? Whatever you got to do.
I never modeled my batting stance after it, but I might have to go big hurt Frank Thomas. I just seems so confident, just standing straight tall, just looking menacing. Obviously, I'm not 6'4", 6'6" like he
you go
is,
big
but,
hurt and you go 0 for 5. You're gonna be real big hurt.
Big hurt. Yeah.
Big hurting for sure. Well, thank you, sir. You've heard it here first. Mr. Magnuson officially, after retirement for the past year, coming
more than a year,
like
3-4
out of
years.
retirement, back in a softball lineup. And no, it is not Bush League over here. He is coming legit. Maybe see him on a softball field near you. Who knows?
If you're in Chicago,
If
maybe
you're in the Chicagoland area, you might see him pimping fucking dingers tonight.
Lake Michigan, watch out.
Lake Michigan, watch out. He's going to be dropping and burying bombs. That's
Actually,
all
it's in
he
Lincoln
knows.
Park, so maybe Lincoln Park Zoo. Watch out.
Hey,
Whatever the
chimpanzees,
stadium's facing.
watch out. All right, lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my, be careful. Might be some bombs flying your direction this evening. That's all I know. But thank you, sir, for the sidebar. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are just about at the 2-hour mark, so let's get this bad boy wrapped up here today. That does it for the Rants Reactions RMACS sidebar. Let's finish it off with my motivation minutes. Give you a little extra inspiration, motivation, gets you through this Friday into the weekend. Actually, a little challenge, a little something for you to think about over the weekend and carry you into next week before I get to see y'all again. Wanted to share a quote with you guys and then a little bit of the thought behind that and then kind of that challenge and let y'all go on and get about your Fridays. So the quote for today is, "Don't fear failure, but rather fear not trying." One more time. Don't fear failure, but rather fear not trying. And I want to start things off by asking you a question. What did you not try this week because of fear? What, regardless of how big or how small, what did you not conquer because you were afraid you couldn't? And it can be the most minute, small thing, but you let that fear take control of you. You can say, I'll never be good at reading. I've never been good at reading, so I can't pick up a book. I won't do it. I could never read. It can be that simple, but you're playing into the fear of failure. You're afraid that you'll fail at reading just because you have in the past. You're allowing fear to dictate your decisions and what you do with your life. Is fear you? It ain't me. And I hope it's not you. So think on that. What this week did you maybe push to the side or maybe not give the most effort or whatever the case might be because before you even started, you had already made it up in your mind that you were going to fail? That is one of the most dangerous things you can do in this life, is to be afraid to fail. Far too often, so many people live their life in what if or man, I wish, and they don't take those opportunities just to try. You should be so afraid of not trying that you try every possible thing you can in this life. Because the real full circle deal behind all of it is that this life is very, 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 very short. And if you waste it by being afraid to try things just because it might not turn out in the best way or it might not turn out how you think it is, or it might turn out as a failure in your mind, but really that failure might be something that helps segue you into a much better opportunity and a much new, higher level of your life. So what I want you guys to do this weekend is think about that. What did I put off this past week? What did I allow myself to push to the side because I'm just afraid to try it, just afraid to see what I would do, whether that be because of your own hesitations, whether some limitation somebody else has put on you or society or whatever the case might be. What is that thing to you, regardless of how big or how small? And don't let it bother you. Don't let it stress you out, because you're a human being. It's okay. These things happen. I've been there. I do it. I've done it. Don't worry. So don't let it eat at you this weekend, but keep it present. Think about that thing. But also couple that with, what are you going to do this upcoming week to accomplish that thing? What are you going to do to overcome that fear of trying? And just try. You ain't got to spend hours on it. You ain't got to write journals on it. You ain't got to waste boatloads of time. But make me a promise. Stop being afraid to try, and that thing that you've been pushing off for a doggone long time, or even just this past week, come up this weekend with what you are going to do to kick off next week to just try to do that thing. To just try. You don't even have to accomplish. You don't even have to achieve. You don't even have to be great. You just have to try. That's it. And you'll be surprised that some of the most beautiful things in your life and some of the most amazing outcomes come from those opportunities when you decide to push fear down and let the mindset of, I'm just going to try, percolate up to the surface. So as a reminder, my friends, don't fear failure, but rather fear not trying. Think about something you pushed to the side this week because you were afraid just to try because of what the outcome might be. Let me tell you, you don't know the outcome, so just try and figure it out. Think about that thing this weekend. Don't let it stress you out. Don't let it worry you, but keep it present in the mind and start to formulate how next week you're not going to tackle it. You're not going to accomplish it. You're not going to achieve. I promise you, you do not even have to be great at it, but you're going to start next week just trying. You're just going to try. So make that promise to not me, to not him, to not anybody around you right now. Look yourself in the mirror and make yourself that promise that starting next week, you're going to stop being afraid to try and just give it a little bit of effort. That does it for my Motivation Minutes for this beautiful Friday, July 9th.
I love it, my man. I'll actually even kind of double down on what you're saying. I saw a clip of Kobe Bryant last night that I saved for myself because it really stuck with me. He was saying something along the lines of make a contract with yourself. And it's not going to be like, oh, I could do this, I could do this. It's like, nope. No way, fans or buts. You made a contract with yourself. Stick to it, because a lot of times in those situations, whether or not you do try or maybe you dip your toe in and you start to do it, but then it's like, I could also just kind of hang out and, watch TV for a couple hours, do this, take a break from it. You made a contract with yourself. Stick to it.
Something I am a very firm believer in and something I actually apply in my life. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad you said that, and actually segue me onto an additional point onto that. Inky Johnson actually has a point of that. And if you don't know who Inky Johnson is, former Texas collegiate player. He now is a motivational speaker and has, if you ever see him, you kind of notice something instantly, like what's going on with his right arm. He was paralyzed and lost function of a good majority of his right arm, and was paralyzed for quite some time after taking a football hit. But he took that football hit and was in the hospital after being split from here all the way down to there. The doctor came in and said he would never play football again. He'd never be able to even stand up again. And he looked that doctor in the eye and said, "I'm sorry, doc, but that's not in my life contract. I no disrespect to you, doc, but yeah, I'm sure you're a very good professional, but that's not in my life contract." And that man found a way to stand up and go to practice the next week after being paralyzed. So it's all about mindset, my friends. What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to try? Come up with a life contract. What will you and will you not accept? And hey, sorry, Doc. I appreciate your opinion, but that ain't in my plans. That ain't in what's going to happen in my life. That's not my mindset. So go kick some ass this Friday. Go kick some ass the rest of the day and into your weekend. And hey, let's all make a promise to each other that we're just going to try starting next week. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. My motivation minutes once again on this beautiful Friday, July 9th, 2021. That's about it. That about does it for the show. Pretty much all in toll. Last but not least, just so you guys know, follow us on the Action app. I am at cash_with_Colt. Riley at RMAGS, all caps. And then you can follow the best bets of the day on the Talking the Line page at Talking the Line. No punctuation, no spaces. Also, reminder, go to this episode's description. You can find the Talking the Line link tree, all of our social platforms, additional content, everything in between. More stuff rolling out very soon. Website infrastructure is fully underway now, so we'll keep you guys updated whenever that'll be rolling out and everything in between. So stay tuned. You can always find the latest and greatest here on the TTL pod and then also on our Twitter page as well. That is where we are the most active. But once again, getting into some additional platforms as well. So make sure you follow us all on there, and the link tree is always consistently updated with anything new comes on the horizon. Outside of that, nothing crazy, nothing major. Let's send you folks on about your Friday and let you have a spectacular weekend here. So, ladies and gentlemen, degenerates, gamblers, far and wide, for myself and Mags, we hope you have a spectacular start to your Friday, unless you have other plans. Hopefully it's already started. You're not just rolling out of bed, but you have a spectacular rest of it as well, unless you have other plans. A terrific start to your weekend. Don't stay away too long. We will see you right back here on episode number 78 on Monday. But for now, our friends, thank you so much for stopping by. And as always, let's cash some tickets. Peace and love.